Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be painting Pantone postcards part 3. If you haven't seen the other two parts, I would recommend checking those out and let's see what I can come up with. I'm starting off with the Pantone postcard Celestial, and for my idea for this one at first, I was thinking about doing some constellations and only using the paint color white. But I kind of took a different turn with it and thought that would be a little too simple. So instead, I felt inspired by Starry Night. So I created some colors and started putting them on the postcard. After I had everything mapped out, I went in with a lot more colors. I don't know if you've ever really taken a good look at Starry Night, but it's pretty insane the amount of brush strokes that must have gone into that painting, because there's just different colors of yellow and blue and everything else everywhere. It's pretty impressive. My husband actually tried to recreate Starry Night for one of his videos, and wow, it was really challenging, and I was pretty impressed that he tried to take that on. Mine is just inspired by the painting though, so don't come after me. It's just very, very loosely attached to the original. I'm not trying to recreate it here. Just trying to create a celestial-esque postcard. At first, I was only using various shades of yellow to try and create the design, but I found out that that really wasn't going to be enough, so I created different shades of blue also, and I even added just some straight white in there to add some more colors in it as well. My main goal when I'm doing the postcards is to leave the postcard revealed, because otherwise you could be painting on literally anything in the entire world and it wouldn't matter what color the postcard was, if that makes sense. I want you to see the original color of the postcard underneath the painting, so I'm always trying to keep that in mind also while I'm creating these. I think you can tell what it is now, so I was content with the results, so it was time to move on to the next Pantone postcard, which is Rainy Day. I also let the name of this postcard inspire me, and I decided to go along with the idea of some rainy day clouds, and I also felt inspired by one of the April stickers that I'm making for my shop, and so I used that as inspiration for this design. You can't have rain without clouds, I'm certain. So I created this cloud in the middle and I shaded that in a little bit, and then I went on and created some more depth and dimension in that by adding just some black and white, keeping it pretty muted in terms of color range. And then I went along and added some of the clouds to the top as well. At first I was only going to leave like a cloud in the middle, but then I was like, that's going to be a little bit naked of a postcard, so I decided to add a little bit more around it, so that way it was a full sky of rainy day clouds, and that way it would make a little more sense, hopefully. I'm not really sure who named this postcard, and no hate to them, but whatever color this postcard is, it definitely does not remind me of a rainy day. I think of gray when I think of a rainy day, or maybe a shade of blue for the rain, but definitely not this like yellow, green, sandy type of color, so I'm a little confused about where they felt inspired to call this rainy day. That's like the last name that I would ever pick for this postcard, but I digress. We're still going to be inspired by the name, even though it makes literally no sense to me. And we're just gonna roll with it. After I finished adding all of the clouds, I still felt like the space was looking pretty empty, so I decided to add some raindrops with the color blue. And I was gonna say obviously, but honestly I guess water is clear, not blue, so I guess it could have been whatever color, but I think of water as blue, so that's what I did. And then I don't want to leave things too sad and gloomy, so with rain, there comes rainbows. So that's what I decided to do for this one. I decided to add a little rainbow, and this is also inspired by my April sticker. The cloud is a little storm cloud, and he's pouting, but he's raining rainbow droplets. So it's kind of cute like that, and it relates to something that makes me happy. So that's what I decided to do. I don't know why I couldn't really create the color purple, so that was a bit of a struggle, but I'm still happy with this design. I think it's probably honestly my least favorite of the three I did. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or allowed to say that, but it's just the truth. So but I'm still really happy with it. I decided to add in a little more to the cloud, that way the rainbow wasn't so streaky looking at the top. And then this one was done as well, and I could move on to the next one. If you haven't noticed a theme yet, all of the 3 postcards I picked out for this video have to do with the sky. I felt like that was a fitting way to categorize this and to make it flow a little bit better if they all had to do with clouds and the sky and just celestial type of things, which I thought was really fun and a cool way to do it, and to see how different the sky can actually be. It's kind of a crazy concept, but just think about it. The final postcard that I did was called Brightest Sky, which again, I wouldn't think of this kind of off green color for the sky, but hey, I guess they think they're at Pantone that the brightest sky is green, so what am I gonna say, you know? So I mixed up some pretty ugly colors at first, but I corrected them, and I decided to create almost like a sunrise type of vibe, because in my head that might not be the brightest of the sky, but it kind of signifies the coming brightness of the sky, if that makes sense. So I decided to try and blend in the colors into this green postcard and make it happen and make it look like a cloudy sunrise was happening on this Pantone postcard. Now, I did cover quite a bit of this postcard. I still left a lot of it open, but not that much, so I don't know. But I did leave some of it to be seen, but to be honest, I just didn't really understand how this color connects to the idea of the brightest sky. And maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe this means something else that I'm not aware of, but I just disagreed with that color being in a sunrise. So I put a lot of it underneath different colors, but I did leave it out in between the clouds at the top right, and at the bottom I left some of it open too, so I think it's still okay. But then I worked on adding a whole bunch of different color variations so that they would look more like clouds with different lighting coming through them, and then I also added some white to add more texture, and again to make it look like they were being highlighted by a rising sun. If you were in charge of naming Pantone paint swatch postcards, what would you name them? Because for this green, I would have probably named it like New Spring. Doesn't that make more sense than Brightest Sky? And then for the other one, I would have probably named it something like Dirt. Maybe that's why I'm not in charge of naming them. I now have 7 out of 100 Pantone postcards completed, and I'm really excited to see them all together when they're finally finished, which will be in a couple of years at this rate. But eventually they will be done, and this is a really fun project that I've been really happy to work with. It challenges my creativity in matching the names, or a lot of them aren't named, which is a little disappointing, so I have to come up with my own ideas, which challenges me in that way as well, since you've seen how bad I am at naming them. But still, this is a really fun project, and it really encourages me to think out of the box. But finally, they were all 3 done, so I peeled all the remaining tape off of them and wanted to give you guys another close-up. So this is Celestial, this is Rainy Day, and the final one is Brightest Sky. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.